Good afternoon. I'm Michelle. My South African sign name is Michelle. And it really is a privilege to be here this afternoon. I would like to start my presentation with a quote by Bishop Tutu, a Nobel Peace Prize winner. And this is really my favorite quote. There comes a point where we need to stop just pulling people out of the river. We need to go upstream and find out why they're falling in. And I think in South Africa, there are two main reasons why our children are falling into the river, especially our children with disabilities. One is lack of access to quality education, and the other is lack of access to employable skills. With this in mind, iSchoolAfrica was established in 2009 to bring the world's best technology to the most marginalized communities in South Africa, with inclusion and access to quality education for all being one of our most priorities in our everyday programs. Unfortunately, we all know the statistics too well. In South Africa, 89% of people with disabilities are unemployed. And I need to give you the context of this is because we're living in a country where 32% of people are unemployed. So here you've got a huge unemployment number where I've been speaking to people at the conference who are living in countries with 2% unemployment. And then we've got this huge demand for high technical skills. So the iSchoolAfrica program, main reason for being was to bring together the high rate of disability unemployment with the high need for technical scarce skills. And with that in mind, we launched the Deaf Developer Program. The Deaf Developer Program is an 8-month program that trained deaf youth to become iOS app developers. And there were really 3 main aspects of this program. One, we wanted to give our deaf youth a global certification to make sure that it wasn't just another internship or another learnship. One of our deaf youths actually said they've been on 12 deaf learnerships without gaining meaningful employment. 2 is we wanted to make sure it included work readiness. And 3, we wanted to make sure we trained not only the deaf youth, but the higher ed faculty, as well as the workplaces, to make sure that we're creating more inclusive workplaces for youth with disabilities. And I think I'm really excited to share with you some of the successes and innovations. One is that 7 out of our 8 youth are employed as app developers. One of them is doing their own work, which is in itself a meaningful work. We also, 3 of the graduates also train school-going deaf youth to code. And this is amazing because it offers these deaf youth amazing role models. And through the course, we realized that there was so much terminology in South African Sign Language, that there was so much terminology that didn't exist in South African Sign Language. So we officially introduced more than 100 coding terms to the South African Sign Language Dictionary. So I think, what does the future hold? I think our biggest challenge, and it's been a theme of the conference, is 10 or 8 deaf youth is not enough. We need to look at how to scale. So we're going to make sure that the success of this cohort is right. We're going to make sure that we look at other disabilities. And we're also going to make sure that through working with schools, we create a pipeline, not just wait till higher education, but we actually introduce the skills lower on in the K-12 environment. So in order to end my presentation, what better way for me to share with you the experiences of Chue, who is one of the deaf cohort, who's currently now a junior app development at iStore, which is the Apple premium reseller in South Africa. I'd love you to hear from Chue.
Being part of a community that actively promotes inclusivity and celebrates variety has been tremendously inspiring. I've had the chance to work and interact with people who are very passionate about changing the world, and this has motivated me to aim high in everything that I do. And professionally, iSchoolAfrica has allowed me to grow and show my abilities. It has been immensely fulfilling to work on creative projects that addresses the needs of people with disabilities. And my development as an app developer has been greatly aided by the encouragement and support I've received from the iSchoolAfrica staff. And my understanding of the value of inclusivity has expanded as a result of so many projects that emphasize on accessibility, which helps to make technology that will benefit everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. Thank you.